Hey everybody, Colby from Four Quarter Butcher Shop here, and today we're talking about the tenderloin, the pride and joy of all beef cuts, the most tender cut. Usually we do a secret steak Thursdays, and we still are doing that. This week we're going to do the skirt steak in honor of the Cinco de Mayo holiday. But we're also thinking about the mothers out there, so we're putting tenderloin on for 15% off. So instead of a skirt demo, we're going to do the tenderloin demo, and check our Instagram feed for some cooking tips on some skirt. So that being said, let's talk a bit about the tenderloin here. Obviously, like I said, most tender cut, really, I mean, you can't really beat the tenderness factor of it. That's just top notch. And I think that's from the fact that it's really just a posture muscle. Doesn't really get used too much because it's on the inside of the rib cage. So we got some pork loins here. So I'm gonna try to demo where the tenderloin comes from. So this would be the back, right? This is the whole back. And I'm using pork loin just for the size, because if I had a whole beef here, it'd be a lot more difficult to do that. But if you picture this is the back, the shoulder and the head being right here, the back and the butt being here, the loins are split in half and split down right down the back. And if I flip it over, you're gonna see where the tenderloin is. Right here. So it starts with the rib cage that goes into the shoulder, but then the loin continues down. So here's your ribeye on beef, continues down to your strip loin here on the outside of the rib cage. That's the strip loin. But on the inside, that's where your tenderloin is, and that is why it's so tender, right? Because these back muscles on the outside are going to be doing a lot of work. This is just, like I said, a posture muscle. So I might as well just show you how to take it out of the loin section here, just so you get an idea. I know this is not the beef tenderloin, but it's the same anatomy, and it's gonna work. It's gonna translate to beef. So I'll show you how to take it out here, and then we'll show you how to break it down on the beef side of things. So really, like I said with other videos, if you watch them, that butchery is all about following the seams, in this case following the bones, right? You're just going straight down here, following that, and that is how you get your tenderloin. And that's how they got the tenderloin out of this beef piece here. And now to clean it, what you want to do to start is get this chain out. There's a chain that comes on the side, and you're just going to use your hands to get that out. With butchery, there's a lot of hands being used. It's not always about the knife, and with tenderloin, that's a very clearly demonstrated, because there's some membrane on top that I got to pick off. So before I really get down to the fine details of the tenderloin, I'm using my hands to get a lot of this membrane, some of the fat out, and it's going to be easier than using your knife when you do this, because you're pulling out big pieces instead of one little piece at a time. And the difficult thing about the tenderloin is getting within these pockets right here. So it's a really nice piece. This is where the center cut, the filet mignon is, but then on either sides, there's gonna be sinew going down into these crevices here, and that is gonna be the more difficult part of cleaning it. You gotta flip it and rotate it just to get the best angle at getting these pockets of fat, getting these pockets of sinew out. But really, once you get those out, the tenderloin is just all about just cleaning it up, cleaning all these little pieces of fat, all these little pieces of sinew, to make it really nice and presentable. People who want the tenderloin really want a nice clean steak. They don't want too much fat for the most part. If you want a fattier cut, you're probably going for a ribeye or a strip loin or something else in that nature. So again, getting in this pocket, it's on the other side. You just want to get all that fat out, make it look nice and presentable. And here's the big piece of sinew that you want to get out. If you leave that on, that's That's not a good steak at all. If you leave some of the fat on, that's fine. Most people don't prefer that, but like I said, if you like a fatty steak, that's good. And if you leave some on here, it's not gonna be the end of the world. I think it's actually gonna add some flavor to it. But yeah, again with the sinew, if you watched last week, just getting a little piece just to hang on to. Knife's going one direction, hand is pulling the sinew in the other direction. And you can just try to get big pieces of sinew off at a time. But sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. You just want little tiny pieces at a time, and that's okay if you just take your time and make sure it's. And then you flip it over, and there's a little piece of membrane on the back, little piece of fat to clean off. You just want to go over every little detail just to make sure it's nice. Sometimes you want to just shape it so it looks a bit better. I sort of use my hands to smooth it out like that. And you just want to go over it just to get, like I said, it's all about getting all these tiny little pieces to make it really nice and presentable. Nice and clean, nice and attractive for the counter. And then with this tail piece here, what we do here is do a little butterfly technique. So our tail's off at the end. You want to butterfly it here, almost right to the edge, and then flip it over. See, it's almost not even attached there, which is a good thing. And that way you can make a nice round steak. Excuse me while I search for my twine here. And then from there, you just tie those pieces together, and that's going to make a nice round steak for you. And this is the butcher's knot. We're gonna teach. I hesitate to show people the butcher's knot on the video because honestly, it's all about practice. It's like riding a bike once you get it, but it's hard to sort of demonstrate, especially in a video. Maybe we'll try to show you that someday. And then from here too, you can tighten up these pieces here. Like I said, you got these edge pieces that you can bring together with some nice trussing. I just edge that piece off, so then you got some nice steaks going forward. And there you go, you have your nice counter ready tenderloin, ready for Mother's Day. So again, 15% off for the mothers out there. We appreciate everything the mothers do. And then also look out for some information about the skirt steak we'll be cooking or demoing on Instagram, so check that out. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend, and treat your mothers well this weekend. Thanks a lot.